Greetings, divine mirrors, sacred, awakening, remembering gods and goddesses, one and all. Welcome to my new project, the pilot experiment, Voices of the Global Awakening, Tuesdays with TES. This is our third episode, third Tuesday in a row, and it's unscripted and unrehearsed. Other than a loose idea of a subject that I am intrigued to address. So I hope that there will be people joining me and we can get into a dialogue around this because as was once said to me, evolution is a team sport. And so we all have a piece of the puzzle, we all have a piece of the pie, we all have a valuable perspective, and when we share it, we expand and we can potentially shift out of a narrow way of looking at something to a more expansive and uplifting one. So I'm inclined to address this topic here today because I'm very aware that there's a lot of pain and a lot of suffering, and on a personal level, I have experienced a series of deaths in the last, just in the last couple of weeks, like an astonishing amount of death. And then, of course, that's the micro, and then on the macro level, there is so much mayhem and destruction, and a certain number of my friends are being really vocal about wanting to be out of here. And to be perfectly honest, those thoughts cross my mind at certain times, and I feel like that's not what I want. What I want is to learn how to be here genuinely happy. That is my goal, because I see what a miracle we are. I see what a miracle this dimension is. And I'm astonished that we could be so distracted and disconnected from the magnificence and the majesty and how sacred and holy everything actually is, that I feel like I'm here as a voice for the divine to represent that realm and bring it to our awareness, because if we weren't so caught up in mundane reality, in our survival programming, and we actually got to appreciate what a blessing it is that we get to be here. Welcome, Leah. What a blessing it is that we get to be embodied, and that we get to have voices, and that we get to have eyes and ears and hands, and that we get to express ourselves and connect with one another and share. If we treated our own voice as sacred and important, that what we have to say matters. Welcome, Lisa. We would be, I believe, less likely to want to depart, because it's like we seem to be surrounded by so much darkness. Hi, Tess. Pretty canary yellow color on you. Thank you. It's actually more mustard, but I guess it's the lighting is making it show up canary. I'll go with that. So it's like remembering that we are the light, and that as much as we walk through a reality in which we see and experience so much devastation and so much despair, um, if we can know ourselves and hold ourselves as the light in the darkness, what happens, I think, is that we forget and we get caught up in what we're looking at rather than remembering that we are the ones to be a stand for the divinity that is behind this play that we all find ourselves to have roles in. And so it's like I want to learn how to live here genuinely happy and not without feeling guilty or like I'm betraying anyone, but that I don't have to, like, not that I don't have compassion for the suffering, because certainly I have experienced my share of it. And there's this well-worn groove where if we're habituated to focus on the suffering, it it feels unnatural for us. It almost feels like we're in denial, or people talk about spiritual bypassing, and and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about doing what I would call a spiritual reality check. So as we're immersed in the circumstances that we're either experiencing or that we're viewing, and we become overcome with um, the the level and the breadth and um, how far-reaching some of the issues that we find ourselves dealing with, again, either on a personal level or globally, and it just seems insurmountable. And so it's very easy to fall into despair, but unfortunately, when we are in despair, we are disempowered, and so we become part of the problem rather than the solution. And one of my favorite quotes, which you may hear me repeating often, is an Hicks quote, in which Abraham said, "Stop telling God how big your problems are. Instead, tell your problems how big your God is." And I've also heard it said that suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. I'm going to use a lot of quotes that may sound like cliche, but they all seem to add up to me in a particular way. And another one is that the reason that God made the world round is that so that we wouldn't see too far down the road. Because if we knew everything that was going to happen, there would be no mystery, and it may be far less interesting and fascinating and mind-blowing than it is as it is that we only get information on a as needed basis, and that much of the time we're being called upon to make friends with and actually learn to trust the mystery, which is our I've come to relate to it as my invisible beloved, as this soft, intelligent, holding energy that has me all the time, no matter what is going on, no matter how I might get distracted. And it seems like it's easier to get distracted and easier to get caught up. It's like law of attraction. So whatever we put our attention on expands, and if we have to be vigilant about keeping our vibration high. And the best way to do that, in my opinion, is from this place of a spiritual reality check, to like, okay, no matter what the circumstances are that I am viewing or experiencing, the reality is that no matter what, I'm still a walking, talking, living, breathing miracle, as are each and every single one of you. So really be with that. Really be with that for a moment, and really allow yourself to feel and to claim the truth of the miracle that you are, regardless of what you may be challenged with. So I entitled the theme for today, To Be or Not to Be, from the Hamlet, the quote, Shakespeare quote. And really what I want to spend this time doing is exploring this existential question. And I actually looked up the soliloquy from Hamlet, and there was a vernacular, modern day vernacular kind of translation from Old English to English that is easier to understand, because if I shared it with you in the Old English, it may take us 2 hours to break down what it means when somebody's already done that. And his name is Ben Florman, the co-founder of Lit Charts, which I'm not certain what that is, wrote the following modern English translation of Hamlet's soliloquy. So it's to be or not to be. To live or to die? That is the question. Is it nobler to suffer through all the terrible things fate throws at you, or to fight off your troubles and in doing so end them completely? To die, to sleep, because that's all dying is. And by a sleep, I mean an end to all the heartache and 1,000 injuries that we are all vulnerable to. That's an end to be wished for. To die, to sleep. To sleep, perhaps to dream, yes. But there's the catch. Because the kinds of dreams that might come in that sleep of death after you have left behind your mortal body are something to make you anxious. That's the consideration that makes us suffer the calamities of life for so long. Because who would bear all the trials and tribulations of time, the oppression of the powerful, the insults from arrogant men, the pangs of unrequited love, the slowness of justice, the disrespect of people in office, and the general abuse of good people by bad, when you could just settle all your debts using nothing more than an unsheathed dagger? Who would bear his burdens and grunt and sweat through a tiring life if they weren't frightened of what might happen after death? That undiscovered country from which no visitor returns, which we wonder about and which makes us prefer the troubles we know rather than fly off to face the ones we don't. Thus, the fear of death makes us all cowards, and our natural willingness to act is made weak by too much thinking. Actions of great urgency and importance get thrown off course because of this sort of thinking, and they cease to be actions at all. So if you have any thoughts or feelings about that, I would love to hear them. And my thoughts and feelings around it is it may be perceived as potentially cowardly to not take our lives, and I think it's darn courageous to stick around and to commit oneself to figuring out, as I said earlier, how to exist in this dimension happily and harmoniously, genuinely so. I contend that it's possible. I'm a stand for that. I believe that our existence is such a gift and so astonishing that there has to be a way that we can shift our perspective so that we can actually be in consistent joy and gratitude, if not actually bliss, on a daily basis. You know, and it really, and I believe, it has to do, and this is the courageous part, with confronting our programming, confronting our psyches that have wounds in them based on things that happen to us in our lives, things that we've been told in our lives, things that we've been exposed to, the conclusions that we've made as a result of all of those things. And certainly in my case, with inherited PTSD, which is called epigenetic PTSD, as the child of two Holocaust survivors who, especially in the case of my mother, did not feel worthy of being happy because she felt like she owed it to her parents and siblings that perished in the war to, perpetually grieve for them. And that was transmitted to me to where it was like I felt guilty to be happy knowing that my mother was unhappy. And one of the reasons that I chose not to have children is because I felt like the buck stops here. And I didn't want to pass along this hurt consciousness to another generation. It's kind of like, when you turn on a rusty a spigot, like a faucet, and in the bathtub or sink, and the water is running rusty, you have to keep the water running until it starts to run clear. And so I felt committed to making my life's purpose, healing myself to the core of my being, so that I would not unconsciously pass along this toxic, sad, cynical, depressed, grief-stricken worldview. And that's work. That's work, and that takes courage. Welcome, Stu. Welcome, Samara. We're on a potentially morbid subject here, which is the subject of death, which certainly it can be viewed as part of the cycle of life, but also can be viewed as this horrible thing to be feared and wished for when life is proving to be extremely challenging, whether it is health-related issues or relationship issues or career issues. I don't seem morbid. Good. I don't want to be morbid. So it's like, so part of the question for me is it possible to shake off the collective guilt and choose to be in gratitude and awe for the miracle and gift of life, even in the presence of others' continued suffering? Is it possible? Is it fine for me to have a beautiful, I wrote these notes down, is it possible for me to have a beautiful, grace-filled life? And then I wrote as an affirmation, I have a beautiful, grace-filled life. It feels divine. My life feels divine. I choose to feel divine and filled with gratitude. That's a choice. And because there's a groove that wants to go in a different direction, it is a practice to continue cultivating that muscle. You're a ray of sunshine, Tess. Thank you, Samara. I am your mirror. I am reflecting your radiance, my goddess queen sister. So it's like I identified yesterday, and I wrote this post about realizing that I, and you probably can relate to this, have been in a fight with life pretty much since my incarnation. I mean, to come into a world with parents who had been through what they had been through, who were so sad, and instead of reflecting joy and happiness to me, reflected despair. And to know about the Vietnam War, and to know about Martin Luther King and John F. Kennedy, and all these tragedies, it was like, what is this place, you know? And we talk about death, we say, rest in peace, you know, may he or she or they now rest in peace, and they are now in peace. And is it possible to rest in peace while still alive and incarnated, in the middle, like to be in the eye of the storm, in the middle of all that goes on around us, and have such a trust in the benevolent intelligence that animated us, that breathed life into us, and is hosting us here and is sustaining us despite all the illusions that we have put in place about the things that we think we need in order to survive, and in order to have a good life, and in order to thrive. Welcome, Persida. And to actually, like the biblical quote, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. My rod and my staff comfort me, you know. And as I've spoken about before, you know, for me, it's just like having something in the physical, the material plane to hold on to touch as grounding, even a mudra, as they do in yoga, where we're just touching fingertips to each other, or whether we're feeling our butt in the seat or our feet on the ground, that our spiritual reality check can be that no matter what I see right here, right now, I am actually 100% supported. And if I don't lose that thread, if I'm able to hold on to that I can move through any perceived difficulty or calamity, and understand that this is a test, that is the game here in this dimension, however you want to look at it. Anyway, I don't want to just be like speaking at you. I would love to be in dialogue with you. And so if you, someone else, Cheryl says, you do not sound morbid, just factual. Thank you very much. So anyway, I welcome you. So you have a little option at your end of things if you would like to join and speak with me and engage in a dialogue together. Please do that. You know, because we stimulate each other, we stimulate thought, we add perspective and insight, and we all grow. This is not about me. This is just an idea that came through me, and it's about me communing with all of you, and we all rise together. We all rise up together, and when two or more are gathered, we are that much stronger. So, you know, I had written a long time ago. I had written this poem, and it's called Night Cries, and it goes like this. The darkness closes in on me and steals my soul as the pounding in my head begins to take its toll. And I pray to God each night to come and make me whole. Tell me, why'd you bring me here and not reveal my role? I swear the human condition must be getting worse. Behind each pair of eyes, I see the fear that life is cursed, clinging desperately to affirmations well rehearsed. Gotta still the nagging demons or our hearts might burst. Is there a chance in hell that we could get this spell reversed? Hey, no one ever told me life would be this way, and without a guarantee, why should I have to stay? What's the reason for existence, God? Why won't you say? All I ask is for a sign, and then I'll be okay. Just want to be okay. Just want to be okay. So I'm sharing that with you because I get it. I'm not somebody who is sitting here, who was born with a silver spoon in my mouth and had my life handed to me on a silver platter and had the Red Sea part with, all my dreams and aspirations fulfilled. I have had my share of heartache and disappointment and despair. And it's not even like I'm completely through it. But the part of me that believes there is this overarching benevolent intelligence that breathed life into us and animates us and wants us to thrive here in this dimension, in this physical experience that is a miracle. I mean, we don't know what it's like once we're out of our bodies. We don't know. So being in a body, getting to be in 3D, getting to touch and taste and smell and love and hug and kiss and make love and create and do all the things that we get to do. It feels like it should be, if not completely, predominantly pleasurable. And if it's not, we owe it to ourselves and to our children and grandchildren and the next generations to invest the time and the focus to do our own spiritual reality check and go, wait a second. I am so blessed that I get to exist. I am so blessed and fortunate and privileged that I get to be in a body and have thoughts and have a perspective and have a personality and have experiences and have engagements with others and be creative. I am blessed beyond measure from a spiritual standpoint. So if I'm suffering, why? Why is that? Why am I attracting painful experiences? Why am I magnetizing? What is in my psyche? What are my beliefs? Because thoughts are things. And we attract our experiences based on our predominant beliefs, whether they are conscious or unconscious. And the game is to make them conscious so that we have the capacity to shift them. Because, as I said at the beginning, if you weren't here to hear me, I've had several friends pass in the last few weeks. And I have one dear friend who is going through such a painful experience right now that she told me point blank that she wants to take her life. And last year, I think it was last summer, I got to hold space for another friend in his last hours before he injected himself with a lethal legal injection. The doctor came and created this cocktail, and he had set his death date 17 days out because of his cancer and the pain that he was in. And he had set up, or other people had set up for him, 2 different Zooms, one a week ahead and one on the day of, although legally you're not allowed to broadcast that moment of transition. But up until then, he was allowed to be online with all these people that he got to say goodbye to and were saying goodbye to him. But when I arrived at his home that morning, I said to him, it's not like you set up this event And we are going to welcome Katerina. Good to see you here. It's not like you set up this event and any of us are going to be disappointed if you decide not to go through with it. And he's like, no, 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 I've made up my mind. This is what I want to do. I'm like, you're sure? And he said yes. And the last look that passed between us before he closed his eyes was sheer terror. It was not a person happy and excited and relieved and at peace with their decision. And it was devastating for me. And in that moment, I made up my mind that no matter how difficult life may ever be, I don't believe that I would ever make the decision to leave. I believe that I trust that, like I said before, that suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And we have, up until our final breath, the opportunity to reconsider and to realize what a miracle life actually is. I told this story recently, and I don't know if I did it here in one of the last two episodes, but it's feeling relevant, so I want to share it now if you don't know it. I read once in a book, I think it was actually a book by David Wolfe, and he told the story of the song Amazing Grace. And the song was written by a man who had been a slave trader on a ship from the West Indies to England. He was a merchant. So all the West Indian slaves were chained to the bowels of the ship. And they were going across the sea to England when a huge storm broke out. And the ship was pitching and threatening to capsize, and he, as the captain of the ship, told his staff to tie him to the, whatever you call the steering wheel of the ship is, and he sent the rest of them underground. And the ship was weaving to such an extent that all this icy cold water was pouring down into the lower decks and into the bowels of the ship. And the slaves that were chained were terrified in pitch blackness. They couldn't see anything. They don't know what's going on. And all this water is coming in, threatening to drown them. And they started to sing this hymnal. And the tune was Amazing Grace. How sweet. Well, they didn't sing the words, right? And they were singing it over and over and over and over and over for hours. And as the merchant was trying to steer the ship in this storm, he woke up and he became so moved by the faith and the determination of the people, the humans that he had chained to the bottom of the ship, that the lyrics of this song came to him. And that's why the lyrics are that saved a wretch like me, which I've always changed to soul when I sing it, because it's like I didn't want to identify as a wretch. It didn't resonate with me. But now that I learned the story, it was like, well, no wonder the word is wretch, and because he was a despicable human being until he had this awakening, and he vowed to God that if they survive the storm, he will turn the ship around, set the West Indians free, and turn in his mariner's license and become a minister. And that is exactly what he did, and that is exactly what happened, and that is why that song is so enduring. Because life is precious. Because all life is precious. Every breath is precious and sacred. Each and every one of us, whether human or any other species, the planet herself. And if we have been blessed with the gift of life, it feels to me that we owe it to our source to treat ourselves and one another and all that is with sacred gratitude. And it seems to me that if we do that, we can turn this ship around, and all that we see that causes us to lose our connection to source and to lose our faith can simply be opportunities for us to strengthen them so that we be the light and the change that we want to see in the world. It's not going to happen if we allow the darkness to take us. The space you leave behind is real. The memory of your face I feel can never be erased, can never be replaced, in case you were wanting to know. The love I found with you is rare, a love so far beyond compare, can never be erased, can never be replaced, in case you were wanting to know. Forever still would be too soon. Why ever did I write this tune? No, never need I face a moon alone. So if somehow it helps to hear the thrill of life with you, my dears, can never be replaced, can never be erased, in case you were wanting to know. Take a deep breath. Stretch your beautiful body. Enjoy the prana life force that fills you and animates you and allows you to live and exist in this dimension. Somebody come join me. It's lonely here without a dialogue. Somebody come talk with me. Who wants to? Don't be shy. Here's the thing. You were given a voice. You were given a face. You are meant to be heard. You are meant to be seen. And this is such a casual arena in order to do it. And the thing about courage is that you feel so much more expanded, so much more free when you step past your comfort zone, your edge, the thing that you think that you can't do, the thing that you're shy to do. We didn't come here to hide. We came here to share ourselves. And I'm demonstrating it, and I'm calling you out to join me. Come on. What if I offer you a prize? If you come on and talk with me, I don't know how, there's a little thing that says join. Don't you have a thing at the bottom of your screen that says join broadcast? Do you see it? Well, I sent you an invitation to do it, so you can come on. Did you receive the invitation? Oh, here you're coming on. Okay. Drum roll. Drum roll, please. It says adding. Yes, it's the little icon in the lower left-hand corner. Well, it says adding, so it seems like he responded to my invitation, but he's not here yet. So yeah, so the bottom line here for me is that even though there are moments where it feels like too much and how much more and oh my God, you know, it's challenging, but ultimately I, for one, do not want to die. I do not want to take my life, and I would like to be a source of support for other people who are in that challenging space that need to be you know, talked down, because ultimately, you know, it feels like there's a lot of loneliness attached to it, like a lot of sense of not being loved and not being cared about. And that's the thing with this friend that took his life last year, is that it was abundantly clear to me that he had no idea how loved he was, despite all the love that was all around him. Stu, you're not able to get in? Requests. Here we go. So, I don't know. Invite. Try that again. See if it works that time. And in the meantime, if someone else is inspired to come on and chat with me, I'm really interested in your perspective on this, because, you know, if we're healthy, certainly our experience is going to be better. And I think our attitude and our habits have a lot to do with how healthy we are. If we're depressed, if we think that life is a drag, then chances are that it's going to affect our health. And so, you know, taking our health and our well-being seriously as like this is the vessel that we were given in order to function in this dimension for this lifetime. And if we take care of it, there's a good chance, and we're grateful. If we're grateful for it, then the vibration that we're emitting is one that is going to attract positive experiences to us, more likely than negative ones, and consequently, we may be here a long time, right? And not leave what we would consider to be prematurely. So if we're going to be here a long time, it seems to me that it would behoove us to figure out how to get to be here and be happy. Here he comes. Accept, add. Here we go. Here he is.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you. I think I'm
You,
not on. I don't think I'm on Wi-Fi. I think that's why it wouldn't work. But then I moved
oh,
closer to the outdoors, and I guess I got a better signal. So here I
okay.
am.
Well, that's something you want to check in with your host about to get your Wi-Fi code, because I
I
guess you use
I
less
had that
bandwidth.
thought.
Yeah, yeah. Looks like you got a
Yeah, I
haircut.
thought I had to be out of here by the end of August, and I just found out since you've been talking that the renter for September has backed out. So I can still move out, but I don't have to now.
Excellent.
Yeah.
See, again, it's
So I
why
don't have to kill
God made the
myself.
world.
See that?
You don't have to kill yourself. You got a reprieve.
Yeah.
So
Isn't that
you want to
amazing?
talk about that thought that arises when things aren't going the way that you wish they would, or you have a sense of stuckness or something, and then that feeling of wanting to be out of here arises.
Yeah, it's just like frustration. It's just like this is not fun. It's just not fun. There's nothing um nothing everything's a drag. I mean, you know, that thought comes up once in a while. I mean, sometimes more than others. Um,
And then
but
and then how do you get out of it?
I think that for me, it tends to pass. Like for example, I tend to wake up in the morning happy,
That's
and
a blessing. That's a blessing.
yeah, I mean, I know that's not your experience
That is not my
of
experience.
yourself.
I
So
have to work to get happy in the morning.
yeah, I tend to wake up happy, and especially if I know I live close to Cow Mountain and can go climb to the top of the mountain. So for the last few weeks, I haven't lived there, and now I'm in
Uh,
Ashland, Oregon.
for
Um,
whoever is
but
watching, the Cow Mountain is in San Diego, and I didn't introduce. This is Stu Schreiber, my beloved former husband and best friend, still speaking to you from Ashland, Oregon.
Ashland, Oregon. So I did go out looking for a similar kind of hike, like the first morning that I took myself out here. But then I've surrendered to just going to a park called Lithia Park, which is where the Oregon Shakespeare Festival is, and um, and I could do like an hour hike, go half an hour up the hill and half an hour back. But it's not the workout that I'm used to, and for me, a workout that I have to really exert myself and push myself and breathe hard and sweat and stuff. I really like that. And I mean, I used to get it from taking yoga class, and then there was a while when I got it from Zumba class, and there's always something different that I can find to do to give myself athleticism. But if I
Hmm.
can get some athleticism on a daily basis, that that helps me a lot. Um, but there's other things too, like creativity. I mean, like when I was studying acting in New York as a man in my late 20s, that was really exciting because I was being more creative than any other time in my life. And,
Hmm.
um, um, but, I mean, there's so many things. Good food, I suppose, being of service to people. I haven't really done much volunteering, but I think that there are a number of different kinds of things that one can find to do mm, that can upgrade one's vibration and help one feel better about themselves. Um, yeah, I mean, you could make a list and you could have it on your wall so that whenever you're feeling fucked up, you can simply go, what can I do? What can I
Yeah,
do
yeah.
here on my list of tools that I know tend to make me happy?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing finding the balance between
self-love and self-care and service, because uh, too much self-involvement for me creates a certain kind of despair, and yet it's kind of like in my trajectory, I've swung 180 degrees in the other direction from self-sacrifice, and so the self-care is like, you know, in order to restore some kind of balance, what there has felt like to do, but there's a consequent sort of meaninglessness to existence without being engaged and of service to other people. That, you know, put Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning, putting that meaning back into life so that there is a reason to get up every day and feel like your life has value, and that there's a reason why Creator is keeping us here, and to trust that that is so, and so that we're holding ourselves as sacred and valuable and necessary so that we can be a contribution to others.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
That was
Yes.
very articulate. Yeah, I mean, I can't say that I have mastered it, but there is something. I mean, I was just having a rough time for months in San Diego, and I changed my scenery. Here I am in Ashland, and it's like a whole new environment. And I'm reading what Joy says.
I would like to read these things out loud. So first I want to welcome Bracha, Christopher, and Joy. And Joy is saying, exactly, the more you offer your service, the better you'll feel. In order to truly be of service, a place of fullness in self, live by example, how to that way serve even deeper. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, is finding that balance between embodying self-love and self-care through taking the time. It's a process for sure, yeah. Taking the time necessary to invest in self, as like there's nothing more important or valuable to do than to be in good self-care, and then to be able to contribute from a full cup as opposed to an empty one.
It's good to have a full cup for sure. Yeah, sometimes it's elusive to have
Uh-huh.
that full cup, and it can be
It
difficult in a
is.
town you're not familiar with to find it. But you just got to. I just have to trust,
Right.
that that magic is going to happen. Uh, if not today, then tomorrow. But
Right.
yeah, I'm kind of in it a little bit. I mean, I have a lot of friends here from New Culture Camp that live in this area, and they have suddenly a day or two ago. It's like they suddenly they all knew I was here, and I got all this energy back to me on Facebook. But it hasn't translated to seeing people or people wanting to come hiking with me or anything like that. I do. It's ironic. The main invitation that I've had once I got here, because I came here because of an invitation, but the main one I've had since then is a woman named Hadassah, who I think is either the daughter or the granddaughter of Holocaust survivors, and who
Law of attraction.
has a degree in genocide and Holocaust studies,
Wow.
and
Wow.
who also runs a farm for retired farm animals that have been cast
Oh.
out. So she's like a big vegan advocate and loves animals. So it's like, oh wow.
So
Well,
wherever you go, there I am.
it's like many years ago in '04 when I went to Hawaii and met a daughter of or a granddaughter of Holocaust survivors or something. So it's kind of like a theme in my
Uh-huh.
life.
Yeah,
Kind of a weird
it's
theme,
funny.
but um,
We have another one on this call, Betty Bracha. is also the daughter of Holocaust survivor. Jacob is her last name. Bracha Betty. I always get it backwards. Sorry,
Yeah, no,
Bracha.
I think
Yeah.
I mean, your mom may have felt that she needed to suffer for all the people that didn't make it, but certainly if you're to be the gift that the nurse told your mother that you were to her, you can't just be here suffering. You should be living life to the full and enjoying yourself as much as possible.
Yeah, and they say that happiness is the best revenge. So it is a goal. It is definitely a goal. And as you know, my mother's maiden name was Freudenreich, which means happy and rich. It also means fulfilled, and I looked it up, and it has a lot more rich meaning to it than the one that I've known my whole life. But anyway, I love you. I appreciate you. I thank you for coming on and spending some time with me. Is there anything you'd like to say before I release you and make space for someone else?
Thank you for the song.
Mm-hmm.
And I love you. And yeah, have as much fun as possible, Tessie, while you're
Thank
here.
you. Thank you.
Whatever that might want to look like.
Yeah, well, it's a learning process because it's like, my story when I was in the second grade, I got all good grades, and then in the parent comments, my teacher wrote, Teresa is a very serious little girl. She needs to learn to play more. And I was mortified because I thought there I was trying to look and act like I fit in like the other little kids in school, and to get that reflection suggested to me that I wasn't hiding the seriousness and the heaviness that I was born into, and so that created a certain self-consciousness in me, and definitely put me on this path to figure out how does one, with all the suffering, with all the tragedy, with all the horror in this world, how does one get to be genuinely happy?
Well,
And
I hear you, and I was thinking about this a little while ago before you got on your call here. And I mean, even though there's so much crap in the world, especially in this day and age, there's also still a lot of beauty in the world. And you can choose to put your attention where you prefer to have it. And so choose wisely, choose to put your attention on beauty anywhere and everywhere that you can find it. And you will win. You will win. I mean, crap can keep showing up in the world, hurricanes or flash floods or fires or wars or whatever it is. But there's so much one can put their attention on, and a lot of it is lovely.
indeed miraculous. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, carry on.
Bye.
Bye bye. Of course, I don't know how to get off now.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Isn't he cute? So cute. Oh my goodness. Okay. So another deep breath. And stretch your body, your precious body, and feel how blessed you are to get to be in it, to get to be here, to get to feel, to get to think, to get to experience, never knowing what the next moment is going to bring. How fortunate are we? It's good to be with you. It's good for me to show up and to speak and to share my perspective on things and to invite you to join me. It's really a gift and a blessing. And I do hope that you choose to participate and to return and to share that this is happening with other people, as I've said before, I'm starting here on the Facebook platform because here is where I have had the most followers. If you know, a good size number of people starts coming on a regular basis, perhaps I will switch to Zoom. I considered using Restream, which broadcasts on multiple platforms all at the same time, but they've got this big disclaimer about you know, owning the rights to your material with the freedom to delete anything they want to, and that was a little big brother-ish for me, so I hesitate to commune with them when, and not if, thank you, when I grow and move. And in the meantime, you know, this is a labor of love, and it's a community service, and I certainly could use a lot of support, marketing, promotion. Technically, you know, I'm satisfied that I've been able to, you know, set it up in such a way that I've got good lighting, but I know that we can be doing a more sophisticated broadcast, and I could be actually singing songs with accompaniment and not just a cappella, and you know, having scheduled guests on that want to bring their followers and share their gifts, you know, and whatever topic may be alive for any of you, like that you would like to talk about. You know, I'm sort of back and forth between wanting to schedule a theme in advance and just wanting to be in the organic truth of the moment, and whatever feels alive on at the moment that I hit go on the broadcast, that is what we'll talk about. So this is a stretch and a challenge, and there's something about it that feels very healing and growthful. So I would like to keep going with it. So anyway, any thoughts that you feel to share? And in the comments, in the description of this event, I listed a few different private groups I have that you could join. I listed my Spotify link where I have 25 professionally recorded original songs. And I am available to come and do keynote concerts at your spiritual center. I'm available for house concerts. I'm available for private one-on-one sessions. If you resonate with me and my sensibilities and think that I may be of service and support to you, please don't hesitate to reach out. Send me a message on Messenger and say you saw this broadcast and you'd like to connect with me. I love you tons too, Bracha. I love you tons. And I'm glad that you're here, and I thank you for continuing to show up. So yes, so we started with this, the soliloquy from Shakespeare, to be or not to be, that is the question. And I think that for me, I have had to come to a bottom line appreciation of the blessing, privilege, and miracle of getting to exist. And from that foundation, thank you, Robin, as are you. I'm grateful that you're here. And from that foundational place, then it becomes like, okay, what else? What else is this dimension going to throw at us, at me? And I said earlier, I'll say again, one of my favorite Abraham Hicks quotes is, stop telling God how big your problems are. Instead, tell your problems how big your God is. And so it's like all the stuff that we get to deal with becomes an opportunity for us to grow our faith even bigger, even bigger, even bigger, even bigger, even bigger, to where we, get to a point where we are just walking around emanating so much light and so much faith that we can't help but light the candles of the people around us. In Judaism, we're told to lech lecha, be a light unto the world. Go into the world and be a light, and to heal or add beauty. And that is what we are here to do. So, we lose our way, or we get born into some really challenging circumstances that we have to dig our way out of to the light in order to get to this place where we are actually appreciating what we are experiencing and what we have experienced, so that we can have compassion and empathy for others. Because if we never had to go through anything and we were just coasting through this dimension, we wouldn't have empathy for anyone else who is suffering. And in order for us to be able to hold space for one another, we have to have our own hard knocks. We just do. And we signed up for this. We signed up for us. We didn't want to just like float around in amorphous perfection all the time. We wanted to get banged around a little, like going on the rides at the amusement park, and we get banged and we get pitched and thrown, and this sense of like peril that comes up in our experience. A part of it is for exhilaration's sake, and part of it is for growing our faith. So everything that happens here is in divine disorder. It's all perfect. It's all imperfectly perfect and perfectly imperfect. And it was designed this way. And if we can trust that, if we can actually believe that there is a master plan, that we are volunteer players to enact and act out, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There really is. And I don't think we need to rush to it. I think that we can take our time and take in the scenery and smell the roses and find the beauty. Where's the song? What did I miss? And what lyric did I throw out there that I missed? I cannot even keep up with my own songwriting. I have well over 100 fully written ones, 25 produced ones, and countless started ones that I haven't gotten back around to finish yet. So it's like we're all given some form of whittling, where you take a piece of a branch, and you take a knife and you take the bark off of it, and we're all given some sort of activity to keep ourselves occupied, because when we are idle, when we have too much time on our hands, and we don't have practices like meditation or breathing, and don't know how to fill it, that's when the monkey mind gets active. That's when we start to suffer and get existential and start to question our purpose. And for me, I feel like my purpose is to stay connected to this divine intelligence, and to know that by being an embodiment of one who is aware that there is a divine intelligence, and to be a spokesperson for it, and to bring that consciousness into the world. It's like there's so many other things that I have thought, oh, well, this is what I'm supposed to be doing with my life, or that's what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. But it's actually bigger than that. It's a more expansive thing. It's a way of being. Like, who am I being? I ask myself that question multiple times a day. Who am I being? Am I being one who is a source of peace and comfort and faith? Am I demonstrating that to myself and to anyone who happens to be around me? And ultimately, I would rather be that than be a source of chaos and be a source of terror. So, it's not to say to be ignorant of the things that are going on in the world, because there are things that we can do to, be smarter in terms of how we live our lives, and where we put our bodies and who we choose to engage with. But ultimately, if we're walking around and we are carrying that divine faith inside of us, that awareness that we are connected to an intelligence so much greater than anything that we can see from this perspective, we're golden. We are golden. We have new people who have joined us. Welcome, Helene. Welcome, Lori. Nice to see you here. And Robin came in. I don't know when Robin came in, but we said hi already. So again, I welcome you. I invite you. We all. This is the thing. I want to tell the truth about things. I don't want to like put on a slick veneer and project this person who's got it all together and never suffers a depressing thought. It's actually not my experience. I mean, one of my biggest frustrations in life is I have this dream of being someone who wakes up genuinely happy and ready to bound out of bed first thing in the morning. That is like my ultimate goal in life. And despite all the work that I have done on myself, I'm sad to acknowledge that I still wake up every day feeling profoundly unhappy, like I don't want to be here anymore. And it takes work for me to get back into my spiritual reality check, to remind myself of how blessed I am to exist and what a privilege this is, and that I'm healthy, and that I have the blessing of so much space and so much freedom to heal myself and to explore these thoughts, like my spiritual father Albert Einstein, who would get grants for taking a rowboat out on a lake to just be in nature and think and come up with elevated thoughts that would shift the consciousness on the planet. So I feel, but my point is that that's not what I wake up into every day. I wake up into this like heaviness and this despair of how challenging life is, and all the things that are wrong in the world, and that my life, it hasn't gone in the direction that I thought it was going to go, and I may not have the impact or be making the difference in this world that I wanted to make, and like not buying into other people's projections related to aging and decline, and like holding myself as eternally youthful and stuff, and feeling kind of lonely in the way that I think and see and stuff. And so it's like, okay, this is what it is, and I got to get back on the horse again and again. Try saying your Shema before you get out of bed. I do. Actually, I do in the morning, and I do sometimes at night. Thank you for saying that. Yes, thank you. And Anthony, welcome. Thank you for joining me. You are seasoned. I am seasoned. Yes, I suppose I am. I have been seasoned and tempered and yeah, mellowed, certainly mellowed, and humbled. Definitely humbled, very humbled. And I feel grateful for that. I feel grateful for that because, like, for example, with this broadcast, of course there are famous people that I admire that I would love to attract onto this broadcast to talk with and to share with all of you. And I am also 100% aware that right here, right now, I am in the presence of the divine in the bodies and personalities and names that are tuned in with me right now. Each and every one of you is the beloved in disguise, and each and every one of you has a holy, sacred perspective that is worthy of listening to and worthy of hearing. And as I hold you that way, even if no one else has ever held you that way before, I am inviting you into a space where you are seen and heard as your divine self. And that is my desire and my gift, and so that I experience myself as surrounded by divine royalty, that every single person around me is a god and goddess, a king, a queen, every single one of us. It's not I'm the queen and I'm surrounded by serfs. I don't want that. I don't care for that. That's not my jam, you know? And my welcome to you here is to take advantage of this space to show up and share your perspective, you know, and you may introduce the subject. It's not like I need to be the one who's introducing every single subject. So there is something that you are passionate about, some insight, some discovery that you have made along your journey that you would like to broadcast out into the ethers. Come join me here. I'm inviting you. I mean, I hope I get to a point where there's so many of you that I can't accommodate everyone, but that's not where we're at yet. So for the time being, as long as there's all this spaciousness, please do come on and join me, and let's talk. Let's talk. Honey, homie, don't play that. No, homie, don't play that. That's right. That's right. That's right. Yes. So, Anthony, forgive me if we're supposed to know each other and I don't know who you are, but I'm grateful that you're here. Have we ever met before? I wonder if there's a delay between when I speak and if you write something in the comments and then it shows up. It seems like there might be a little bit of a delay. So, how are we at? We still have 45 minutes to go. Hey, Joey, welcome. Nice to see you here. I bet you, I, I go by Walking Crow. Welcome, Walking Crow. I'm glad you're here. I am available if somebody would like to. Here comes Joey. We're friends on Facebook. Okay, cool. Well, I look forward to
I mean
connecting with you.
that, but hi.
Hey, sister. Welcome, Joey Costa.
What's up?
You are live on Voices of the Global Awakening.
What
And you
a day.
are one whom I consider to definitely be a channel of wisdom. So tell us about your day and tell us what's alive for you.
My day today, it was pretty awesome. I did a podcast. I'll have to put a link. And I'm really like my brain is fried, so my words might not come out right. But I did it's called like Song of Your Life. Or I have to look it up. Anyway,
Okay.
It was awesome. I got to talk about music and song and songwriting and
Wow.
and just how my it was just a great conversation, and it was about music and how songwriting has been an integral part of my life, and how everything that I used to write was about everything that I was going through and every experience I ever had, and how recently my songs have been sort of turning the page and where I'm writing more almost prophetic. Like I write and then it's like I live into the song for the next 6 months or the next year, as opposed to it being sort of these recollection recap type songs. And it was really fun to just go down memory lane of songs and different songs that were going on at different times of my life. And it was just a really great conversation. I never had a conversation like that before. It was really amazing.
That's so cool. Do you have a prophetic song to share with us?
Oh, well, yeah, it's like everything that I've been writing, it's been mostly rap. But it's like I get the lyrics, but then still, a week or two later or 6 months later, I'm like, oh, but that also means, you know? Or as it comes to pass, I'm like, oh, that's what I
Oh,
meant.
very cool. Very cool. Well,
So yeah, I mean, I could do a rap for it if you want.
yeah, yeah. I just want to acknowledge that Anthony has said, "Love the silver on you two sisters," and it was like.
I know, I know, I know.
Anyway, yes, yes. Let us hear you. Let us hear your rap.
I'm going for yours. I'm hoping my hair turns out closer to yours soon, but I was noticing how dark it was in the back today. I was like, wow,
Mine's
I
still
never look at the
dark.
back of my head.
I still have some dark back there.
Yeah,
If you could
it's
see
like,
it.
why is the back of our heads dark? It's almost like consciousness, right? And like shadow.
Oh, that's funny.
Like
That's funny.
up we have this consciousness and this like subconsciousness, and I don't know. Anyway, I'm kind of just been, so this has been my day. I was supposed to do that podcast yesterday and I totally spaced it. So he messaged me this morning and was like, what happened to you yesterday? And I was like, oh my God, I thought it was on the 25th. I was like really just off. So I had to run and do all these things that I put off to do today. Yeah, anyway, I was like running behind, and then I must have like tripped 3 or 4 times. I put the mail on the back of the car and started to drive away, and like all the mail flew away. Like it's just been, but it's been this like really exciting, happy day. So it's just been this weird, this like I didn't plan on being on this. I didn't even know I could get on this, and all of a sudden it was like, Joey, come up, and I was like, oh, okay. So it's just been one of those days
Yes, it's like
where
a
it's been
say
really
yes to life day.
happy accident type, type day. And I took the dog for the walk and we played and we made games, and I don't know, it's just been a great day. Yeah, so sorry.
That's all right.
Sorry. And I'm so hyper. It's been like 3 days I've been like this. And I'm just like awake and I'm hyper and I have all this energy and I don't even know where it's coming from. And I have like, I think I slept like 4 hours last night, but I've been at this level all day long.
Okay.
And it doesn't seem to be slowing down.
Wow. Well, tell people what you do. I want people to know what you do because
So,
you're so unique.
I'm an applied energetic philosopher. um,
That sounds so
I
cool.
initially, I know, I finally had come up with that. I was like, I'm an applied energetic philosopher. That's what I am. Um, and I'm moving towards owning the lyricist more, and and moving more into songwriting. Um, but yeah,
What does an
I
applied
created Presence.
energetic philosopher do?
So Presence Manifest is my philosophy and practice, and also it comes in energy form. And what I basically do is I initiate and speed up the the vibration of presence. um, yeah, I said it great earlier today, and I was like, wow, I should say it like that again if somebody asked me. And then, of course, I forgot what I said. But I know what I do is basically to move. Okay, this is my mission. My mission is to move the baseline of humanity to a baseline of presence,
Ooh.
so that we can kind of jump forward from there. And I believe that my energy sessions, my coaching, my mentoring is all geared towards initiating and speeding up the process of somebody getting to that baseline, which includes basically the falling away of everything that has to fall away for you to become present and to be more connected to your own truth and universal truth.
Which we might call
So,
distraction, right? Releasing
yeah,
distraction.
it's like everything that stands in it's almost like I come into play or connection with people. I initiate sort of this sped up path towards that vibration of presence, which on certain charts I've think I've seen is like around 600 or something like that. And then I do my best to journey with and support them on their way there, which includes a lot of shedding of past narratives, past stories, past thought forms, just anything that they're holding on to that would stand in their way of being at that baseline and beyond.
Awesome. Well, I've had the pleasure of working with you, so I can speak to how effective you are. And if you want to put your contact information in the chat, please do. I do want to hear your rap, but I feel like I also want to ask you, as far as what like today's topic was, if you have any thoughts or insights related to the existential question, to be or not to
Which
be, as for
was
people who
the question?
to be or not to be. It's like to live or to die. Like the people that are struggling and suffering and just want out of here. Like what's your?
So it's interesting. Did I have that? I didn't have that talk with you. I had this talk with somebody else about this because, and then it caused me to have to look up information about what states allow people to do this, and which states don't. And I think honestly, after I had this conversation with someone else about that, because I was thinking, I don't think that I think we all have a right to just sort of. That was my first idea, was we all have a right to just decide, I mean, like if we don't want to be, we don't have to be, I feel like there's probably some sort of like energetic time period of making up something when you leave, when you do that or something, though. Like I feel like there's definitely a integration process that is different than if you die, say, organically.
What do you
Just
mean
without,
making up something? What do you mean?
I don't know. It was just like my intuitive feeling is that if you sort of check out early, right? There's like something about the death process that you miss. So somewhere it there's a balance in
Oh, I
everything,
see what
right?
you're saying.
Somewhere it gets made up, right? Like, so maybe there's sort of like a holding period between form and unform or something that you go through slower because you didn't do it, here. But then I stumbled on your live and listened for a while, and I heard your story, and I was like, whoa, like witnessing sort of the non, like, oh crap, what did I do feeling in somebody else's eyes, and I was like, oh, maybe I should second guess that idea of so I really, it's funny because not funny, but I say that I it was like a series of 3 conversations with 3 completely different people that day about that, and it was triggered because our cat is dying. And I was speaking with the owner of the cat, and we've gone back and forth over, he's been an outside cat his whole life, he's this he's this amazing being, and really is it really for him, or is it to like not suffer to see him go through that? And as like a natural creature that was allowed to live outside his whole entire life, like did we prolong his life by bringing him inside when we thought he was going to get eaten by coyotes because he was getting too old? Should we have left him out there to the cycle of life? And now that he's sort of crickety, like, should we take him in because we believe he's suffering? It's like there was just, it was like this really painful. Yeah, there was just so much projection, and we're just like, oh my God. And then it brought us into like our parents and and what kind of deaths our parents had. And then we started talking about what kind of deaths we wanted. And then I had this conversation with my friend. I can't remember who it was, but it was about legislation, and her friend was very adamantly against it. And so I kind of just took the pro side.
Mm-hmm.
And then I heard your like lived side, and I was like, I think the jury is still out.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
I really don't think I would hope for myself. I would personally like to go through as much of the process as possible, right? And I would maybe think like my sister, right? Like I told my sister, if I'm in the hospital, like, and I'm about to die, like, just let me die. And my sister said to me, I'm not kidding you, my sister said to me, no, until you put it, I'm sorry, Joey, but if you're in the hospital and I'm around, you are getting shocked. like, like, and I was like, how do you? And she was just like, she's like, well, until you have it like specifically in writing and this is what you're, whatever. She was like, I haven't seen anything like that, so you're putting it in my hands, and I'm not letting you go a minute earlier.
Wow.
And I was like, well, what about like keeping me longer than I'm supposed, you know? So we had a conversation about that. So it's been coming up lately, and I think also not that I think it's anytime soon, you know, but I think like sort of like, I don't know, maybe as I approach sort of like my second Saturn return, I'm thinking more of life like creating and manifesting a great death, right?
Something
like,
spectacular.
yeah,
Right?
like I got, you know, it's like I kind of feel like the first 20 something, 30 even, you know, I was like, yeah, what do I want to build? And I'm still building things, you know, don't get me wrong. But I started really thinking about it, like, why don't we put a lot of thought and effort into this? Like, why can't I start now? You know, like, I want to have this and I want to have that, and I want to, you know, these are the people and this is the ceremony. And, you know, I just moved to a land that has a wood shop, and I thought we should have like elaborate, natural, biodegradable coffin making, like workshops, right? Like where we get to like stylize our stuff and keep it, you know, somewhere like in our house or in our room, and just keep adding stuff to it, like etching stuff into it and putting symbols on it, you know, like the thing from Egypt, you know, I can't ever say that word right,
Sarcophagus.
but like, yeah, I was like, we should start making those, right? And then I started looking up what states you could still get buried in your own backyard. And believe it or not, most states you can still bury yourself in your backyard. Who knew?
If you could actually
and
bury yourself.
Yeah, and well, you know what? If you get started early,
Right.
you could also just like play in the hole for like 10 years, right? Like a freaking sandbox. Be like, I'm gonna be here soon. You know, I mean, like, there's really so many different ways to look at it, I think, and I'm having fun with it. But I think I want to be to the very last second I can possibly be, so that I can experience as much being as possible.
I get that.
I think has been the thing.
Yeah. Thank you. I don't know if you saw this. You could scroll back on my page from last week. An infant was born, and I don't know if it was stillborn or if it breathed and then stopped breathing, but it's a 6-minute video of the obstetricians slapping and massaging the heart to bring this baby back to life. And I
seen that video.
It's so unbelievable, because it's like you think about on the one hand, if it was not that team of doctors, that baby would have just been, you know, deemed dead and that's it. There's no life. But on the other hand, what kind of traumatic entry with all that slapping and like what kind of issues is this person going to have? So it's
I don't think
oh,
any. I
oh
don't
my
think
God.
any.
I don't
I
know, but it was
I don't
amazing.
know.
It was amazing. I've never seen anything like that before.
I thought that was the. I thought that was the best. Yeah, I thought it was the best thing because I thought, wow, like there's just so much about life that they keep from us and but seriously, I don't think they're gonna have anything because I don't think they have like they don't have words for any of that yet, and I don't think it really feels bad when you're like getting life source shook into you or something. It's probably perfectly fine. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
But
I think about years ago when I took EST and Werner Erhard was saying that our first experience of life is being grabbed by our ankles and held upside down and slapped on our ass, and that our first experience is like, this isn't it. This isn't what I signed on for. So
it's like, whoa, I'm here.
yeah,
I'm here.
whoa, geez, I gotta like brace myself right away. All right, let's hear your rap. I want to hear your rap.
Oh my goodness. Well, back to the baby though. The
Okay.
baby was it was so cool, and I just felt like, wow, like there's so many things that they hold back in like our Western culture, because I feel like these other cultures have this whole understanding of energy and energy flow and life source and what you have to do to get it, and um not so crazily, but right on your like right on the top of your butt, or where you get smacked often in whatever ways, is your emotional center point in like Chinese medicine
Mm-hmm.
is right there,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so people lean towards that in release ways too, where they're like, that's like the perfect place to have like tapping and slapping and stuff like that, because it like breaks up all this like emotional stagnation and everything. So um yeah, I think it just depends on like what comes with the slapping that causes the trauma or the non-trauma.
Right, right, right.
um so yeah, okay, so the rap. So the rap could also be a song. This one can be a song or a rap. Um and or I could do this other one called Truth, which I really like. It has some cuss words in it.
Your choice, sister. Whatever you feel.
So I did this one today, and I thought, oh, I really like. I'll do that one. I'll do that one.
Okay.
No, I'll do the other one. I'll do the other one.
Okay.
All right. It's I used to float through states of consciousness like I was on a road trip trying not to miss the major attractions and the stars on the map. But I know now that the magic happens in the gap between the place you think you're going and the one you arrive. Fully present, integrated, and always on time. For the message and the blessing to hold the divine for everything that every moment was meant to define. I put the knowledge in my pocket, leave the rest behind. I know wisdom is the product of an unleashed mind, 'cause I release and decrease any chance that I'll find a duplicate experience in my space and time, 'cause I'm the mastermind of my life's design, and I'm not inclined to press rewind, 'cause I've lived that track. I've been there and done it. I played that game 'cause I defined it and won it. And every moment's a game till our very last breath. None worth more and none worth less. So if you're playing a winner, then I'm happy to meet you. If you're playing a loser, then I'm happy to beat you. 'Cause I don't decide who you choose to be, and I can't reflect what you choose not to see. So however you follow this cadence to me, the song is a prayer and the prayer is a seed. all benevolent energy available to you be with you and for you now in the most benevolent way. And all other energy be bound by love to the extent that you are seeing.
I love that. That was beautiful.
Yay!
Yay, Joey. Thank you for sharing presence and your consciousness with us here. I hope you'll come back again. And if you feel like it, you could reach out to me and say, hey, I'd like to talk about this sometime, and we can do that. And remember to put your contact information in the thread. And yeah, thanks for being here.
And you know, you're always grace manifest to me, right? I just like named you that. So
I love it. I love it. I'm honored.
great.
Thank you.
Thank you. This was so fun. I had no idea. I just saw your face and clicked on it, and then here we are. And this is such a great idea. I love it so much.
Thank you. I actually tagged
So
you.
much.
I actually tagged you on it, so you didn't see that. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I'm figuring it out as I go along.
And I don't know how. Do you know how to get me out of here? Because I don't know how to get out of here.
I'm getting you out. I think I hit this finish button. Oh, remove here. Okay, blessings to you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Okay, Joey Costa, and a very cool wrap. That was wonderful. We got about 20 minutes left, and if anybody else wants to come on and chat a while, I'm happy to have you. Anthony, you said the body holds the memory, so something will eventually come up with that child. Yeah, I feel so. There's stuff in the subtle realms that, like that level of impact to somebody just rang the doorbell and my dog is going crazy. Of course, I'm not answering it. So anyway, this is live. This is what happens. So yeah, but it's like, is it better to live the life and then deal with like uncovering the trauma, or is it better to have not had other divine humans put all that loving effort in to save this newborn child, whose future and destiny are unknown to all of us. So it's that's why I said to be or not to be, and we're exploring the existential question, the existential moment, the existential now. Like every moment, if we're conscious and we're present and we're in presence, then each and every moment is a crossroad, and we're at choice in each and every moment which direction we are going to go. And watching that video, I didn't necessarily know the outcome that they were going to succeed in bringing that baby back to life, but I was certainly mesmerized by the effort and the determination on behalf of the medical team. It was incredible. So, did you get to see it, Anthony? You watched it? Oh, thanks for putting your information in there, Joey. So I see Sasha Rana has joined us. Welcome, Sasha. And Nisaba, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Yes, you did see it. Very cool, very cool. So, let's see. I had made a list of a couple of songs that I've written that may be appropriate for this topic. Here, this is one that I actually just want to try to get two in before we finish today, but I also want to talk to you guys. So this is one that I wrote for someone's celebration of life that I ended up singing for somebody else's celebration of life the other day. It's called Sherry's Hymn. We are here, and then we go, disappear, till we don't know. Mystery, from first to last, our history, a fleeting past. Who we were and who we've touched, things we did that mattered much, hearts we healed and hands we held, loves revealed and feelings felt. The life we lived, the mark we made, the cards we're dealt, the way we played. So few may see, or none at all, and still we strive until we fall. And still we pray beyond the veil. A new day dawns, and we go on. Deep bow to the great mystery. If we can make the mystery our beloved, and we can make the mystery our friend and our teacher and our guide, and we can trust it and allow it and surrender to it and deeply listen to its whisperings, I believe that we can have such a rich experience beyond our programmed ideas of what is a life worth living, a worthy life, a life well lived. It, to me, all comes down to the willingness to slow down, step out of the illusion of the clock and the calendar, and be, as Joey talks about, in presence. Be a sacred witness to the miracle of all of existence, of our own existence. And from that place of observer, like a scientist, without any preconceived idea of what is supposed to happen, and just be present to the miracle. I believe that that is what our source, our creator, is really wanting from us and waiting for us to just sit with it and be with it and allow it to lead us. And maybe it's going to take us in a different direction than where we thought we were going. Maybe if we thought we were dying and we actually be still, maybe we're going to have a shift when we're not so much in it, in the circumstances, and we step back a little bit to give ourselves some space and to regain our peace. The peace that surpasseth all understanding, that is always available to us in the kingdom or the queendom within, to find that place, because ultimately all we're after is peace and trust, I believe. We want to feel safe, even if we're skydiving, even if we're doing things to exhilarate ourselves. We want to feel safe, and as much as we can snap into that place of sacred witness to our own experience and keep surrendering to the love of the benevolent intelligence that brought us here, we can be taken and shown things that we cannot even conceive from our programmed mortal perspective. Love you, this project, and your voice. Thank you, Joey. It's a pleasure to have you here. Oh, Monica Carey's watching. Oh, wow. I would love to have it. Monica, you want to come on? The peace in me is the peace in me. Amen. Okay, I'm gonna have you. Oh, couldn't add guests. No, I guess you're not available for that. Yeah, the sacred surrendering witness. Yeah, the willingness to step out of the movie and the drama of what the character, which is our avatar, that we agreed to step into in this embodiment. Welcome, AJ. Last couple of minutes. Is really just the vessel for our consciousness to move through this dimension and have an experience. So that neutral observer that is simply marveling in awe at everything, with no judgment. It's like there's this experience and there's that experience, and there's that circumstance and there's this circumstance. And each and every one of them is sacred and divine. Rock on, Sasharana. And so anyway, we got 10 or 9 minutes left. And if anybody still wants to come on for a quick little chat with me, I would be happy to receive you and hear your perspective on things or anything that you feel to share. We are going to be doing this every Tuesday, God, Goddess willing, for the foreseeable future. Voices of the Global Awakening, Tuesdays with TES from 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific time, currently on Facebook Live. And we may move, but you'll know about it in advance. And if there's any way that you want to reach out and connect, whether as a guest, whether working with me one-on-one, whether inviting me to come and sing and speak at one of your events, please private message me about that. There's groups that I have here on Facebook that you can join. There's my music on Spotify that you can plug into, and there are Cash App platforms that if you feel to support this work in expanding and becoming more technically savvy and have all the bells and whistles, then I will graciously receive your contribution as well. I do have, Monica, hi. Struggling with technology here. Let's see if I can get you. Let's see if I can grab you. Yes. Add. Okay, I've done what I can do at my end. Hopefully you'll be able to respond.
It's okay. Actually, I didn't mean to get on. I was just saying that I was just like, struggling with volume and technology in general. But thank you for your invitation. But I wasn't really ready to get on your show yet.
Okay, well, I mean, if you don't want to be on camera, but you just want to talk, I mean, I sort of feel like that you have some profound experience that you might be able to share on this topic. I don't know how long you've been listening and know what we've been talking about.
Oh, actually,
but it is...
I just kind of popped in because I have 2 different Facebook profiles, and I popped into this one, and I was just saw you talk, and I just kind of jumped on.
Oh.
But yeah, I'm not actually sure exactly, but maybe another time.
Okay, honey. Thanks. It was good to connect anyway. Thanks for bringing your energy here.
Nice seeing you here.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Oh, you think I'm amazing? I'm so grateful. Anthony, this is a cool format. Great to experience you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm grateful for this inspiration, and so far this is the third episode in a row, and so far it's feeling rewarding, and I'm getting good feedback, so that helps. It helps. So I appreciate. Okay, we got 5 minutes left. Anybody for a quick jump in, or do you want to hear another song? Because very cool. Yeah, connections meet each other. You're all brilliant and divine and cool, and if I'm magnetizing you, there's a good chance that you will get value from knowing each other. So I love that. So let's see how many times. Another song. What do we have left here? 6:55. Okay. So this is a song that I wrote that's kind of like a play on my name, TES. And it's called Testament. And my fantasy for performing this song is, on a big stage. And this is my it could either be my finale or it could be my encore song. And of course, I have all the stage magic available. And so before the song ends, I will disappear in a puff of smoke. That's my vision for this. So it's called Testament, and it goes like this. Last will and testament for the one and only me. When my time has come to leave this world, here's what I bequeath to thee. I leave my love and kisses. I leave my favorite songs. I leave my that's and thises, and my hard knocks right from wrongs. I leave my smiles, I leave my style, my bold opinions too. I leave my hat, I leave my home, and I leave 'em all to you. I leave my dreams and happy themes and ask you to carry on. Be light, be gay, laugh every day, and you'll never know me gone. Last will and testament for the one and only me. When my time has come to leave this world, here's what I do promise thee. No debts, no doubts, no dishes, no dramas and no shame, no stacks of unfilled wishes, no messes and no pain, no sleepless nights, no nasty fights, no karmic IOUs, no cigarettes, no old regrets, no good reason for the blues. I leave my dreams and happy themes and ask you to carry on. Be light, be gay, laugh every day, and you'll never know me gone. No, you'll never know me gone. No, you'll never. I guess if I had timed it right, I could have closed out. I could have just hit finish and be done on the broadcast. But okay, what do we have now? 6:58. Okay. I love all of you so much, and I'm so grateful to you for being here with me, because without you reflecting me and giving me energy, then, it would have been a very short broadcast. It would be challenging to just keep talking for 2 hours unless, something in you was evoking something in me. So I appreciate you very much. Please come back. Please share the link. Please invite your friends. And please, this is a community service, in my opinion, and my feeling body about it. And I love being able to contribute to you in this way and support and uplift. And if I can be of further service, I would be delighted to do that. Use me, because otherwise I don't know what the heck I'm doing here. So much love to all of you, and stay in your body as long as you can. Like Joey said, just stay in your body until it's the end of your road. And who knows? I contend that if you're satisfied and grateful with whatever your experience is and you're happy to be here, you can get to stay a good long time, maybe even forever. Who knows? Much love to you. It is not 7 o'clock yet. I'm gonna milk it till the last moment. And it might even shut off because I preset it for 7. It's 7 o'clock. Okay. Infinite blessings to you. See you again next week.